That's kind of a special song for me because I've seen 6 of those happen. Amazing, amazing experience. How many of you have been involved in the birth of a child in that delivery room, seeing them come? Those of you that are mothers, I know you have, right? But if you've ever been experienced that, it's just a phenomenal experience. It's something that never goes away. That joy and that beauty of that new life. One of the things that we'll talk about here in just a minute, I don't want to address right at the moment, is what is it that wants to birth in me? What am I mothering inside of myself? How many of you have a dream or a goal or something that is still fulfilling itself? It's still in the womb, right? It's still growing. You're every now and then doing the ultrasound on it to see where it's at, where it is, ready to come forth. We need the support of the people around us to help us with that. Those of you that have actually given birth to a physical child, has the help that you've been around been important for you? Have some kind of backing to be able to work with it? Motherhood is a teamwork situation. And the more that all of us see that, the easier it is for that nurturing and that growth to be able to take place. Let me find my little, whoops. Kathy, you did it. She said, it may not stay on the belt, but it did it. There we go. Can you still hear me? All right, let me try to do this. So I put together a slideshow just to start this out. Okay? There we go. No, this is okay. It's fine. So just to give you an idea of all the different shapes and sizes and energy patterns and so on of motherhood, let's take a look. I love that one. Just the joy and the beauty of all of that. Sometimes in motherhood, it may not feel like that. We might feel like that. The mother of dragons, as Susan said. Do any of you have little dragons running around? Had them? Right. Sometimes that motherhood is profound. It just spans those of us that have parents or folks we know during the early 1900s and even right now, huge families. My grandmother, one of my grandmothers was a child of a mother who had 11 children. Just awesome. It's amazing. Sometimes that energy can feel like that. There's just a lot of need that those souls have. And mothers will always protect and defend. It's one of the most fierce, powerful energies on the planet. That mother, that ferocious mother, who's going to make sure that she lets people know to leave her children alone, etc., etc. And of course, Susan created an amazing family of people. And I don't know, I think my son-in-law photobombed some people in that family. I don't know how that happened. And of course, where is it? There it is. The happiness of that family. That was Susan's 70th birthday. And boy, did we get her. She had no idea. She thought she was going to a dinner with one of the mothers-in-law, and she had no idea. She walks in, and everybody surprises, jumps out. Happy 70th birthday. It was an awesome experience. One of the iconic caregivers and people of all time, Mother Teresa. Generations upon generations of that energy passes itself on. How many of you remember some of your history, your ancestry? Beautiful thing. And of course, isn't that what it's all about? Little snow angels running around, growing, and then the beautiful Mother Earth, Father, Mother Earth, that really is the giant caregiver of all of us? Do you know that unity and the beauty and the acceptance, the relaxation, people come to this place, not necessarily the Sunday service, but they say how warm and welcoming this is. And I'm sure every church has that. It's a belonging feeling and so on. But I will tell you, for me, having been to unities all over the country and in other countries, unity really is the mother of churches. That energy is just very, very special. So, as we get started, I say to all of you, Happy Mother's Day. Give yourself a pat. Let me see you do this. Give yourself a pat on the back. Definition of mother. Noun. One person who does the work of 20 for free. If at first you don't succeed, try doing it the way Mom told you to in the beginning. Child's vocabulary to Mom. I'm hungry. I'm cold. I'm hot. Can I have? I want to watch. Where are you? Can you ask Dad? Can you help me? He hurt me. She hurt me. I want to go there. When are we? Why are we? Why can't we? Child's vocabulary to Dad. Where's Mom? I got this text a while back from one of our daughters, one of the New York daughters, who is working with her niece and the mom to help potty train Addison. Crystal, Addison is potty trained. Susan, woohoo! Sandra, the mother, okay, let's be clear, not completely potty trained, just did her first few poos there, which let me tell you, number 2 in the potty at 2 is overrated. So Paul, but okay, did she see her successes? Sandra, the mother, oh, she's seen her successes. She's touched her successes. She's wiped her successes all over the bathroom. Everybody's guffawing, oh my God. Paul, Sandra, we did that 5 times. Sandra, I'm really appreciating that Avery went to do that in the potty till she was 3. And it's okay, you can laugh about it. Lady just wants to get her done. Ha ha ha, everybody. Oh, says Sandra. And she keeps trying to flood the bathroom by shoving an entire roll of toilet paper into the toilet. How many of you have experienced something in that Hillary put her hand up very first? It's just amazing to me when I look at people who are engaged in motherhood, the resilience, the persistence, the strength, inner strength, the clarity of things that come to being mothers. I want to say something before we dive into a few experiences. If you had a situation in your life, in your life, where the mother energy for you was not necessarily as positive as what we may talk about today, I want to honor and value that. There are some people that it's challenging growing up. How many of you know people that have had that in their lives? I just did a ministerial counseling with someone earlier this week who came to the center from out of town who grew up in a situation that was not pleasant with the mother and the father. The mother was very, very insecure, felt abused, got drugs and all those kinds of things. She, this woman, rose up out of that and felt the strength of that and is now talking to other people about rising up. Her sister didn't handle it that way and went the same way as the mother. Passed on the niece and the nephew she came to help here are stable, but she's wanting to back them and support them. So if any of those kinds of things have ever happened to you, step back a little bit and just be thankful that that person, no matter how troubling it might have been, at least you had the opportunity to be here with a physical body and work life out. I honor and value that. There were times in my life where things were challenging. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. Father traveled and worked all the time. I did the same thing, with Susan. And there were challenging moments. And the times that I, as a child, felt angry or upset, running down the highway, leaving home when I was 4 years old. Fortunately, my neighbor saw me, and it was a small town. Somebody would have found me, and so on. I was really upset at my mother. She was the worst person in the whole world, whatever she did. And that's always going to be there in some fashion or another as we grow through life. But that sense of forgiveness, that sense of knowing that that soul that's there is doing what they know how to do, that probably that's been a syndrome that's been passed down from generation to generation. Psychology now talks about that. You can see the patterns in life and how we sometimes keep regurgitating and copying those things. So if that's been challenging, if you know somebody that's challenging with that, just be that mother. Be supportive of that, at least inside myself, at least inside yourself, to be able to allow the healing to take place there. It has to start with that step forward in that process. If I just stay here and I'm just looking at the past of things, I'm standing like this, seeing this perception, and I'm not seeing the possibilities of what's out there. And that's what's so beautiful about unity, is it really helps us to find that sense of inner peace inside and to be able to change and shift and to have the support mechanisms to be able to do that. I want to read a poem to you, that first couple of quotes. How many of you know who Pink is, the singer? Pink? Okay, here's her quote. I am completely changed since being a mom. I'm much more open. I'm much more accepting of myself. I'm much more thoughtful. I think about the world more and what we're leaving for these kids and the direction we're headed in. And so I guess it changes your music. Beautiful quote. How many of you know who Hoda Kotb is? The morning anchor on Today Show? She's had two adopted daughters now. So this is referencing that. The first one, she stepped in it, my heart exploded. And then, second one, all of a sudden this little girl, Hope, steps in and you realize how much room there is in there. You think you're topped out, but your heart's ability to expand blows my mind. How many of you had more than one child? Did you ever question this? Probably some of you did. Question the second one coming? The mother goes in and here comes the pain and all those things. But it's amazing, that surge of energy of that birth. It just transcends any kind of concept about what it might be or not be. And as Susan and I so eloquently did, we just kept practicing and doing it, having children. And we wouldn't trade it for the world, right? Wouldn't trade those souls are just amazing souls. Soak this in just a little bit. The towering tree spreads his greening canopy, a veil between the soil and sky, not in selfish vanity, but the gentle thrush to shade and shelter. So it is with love. For when we love, simply love, even as we are loved, our weary world can be transformed. The busy thrush builds her nest below, a fortnight's work to weave and set, not for herself alone, but her tender brood to shield and cherish. And so it is with love. For when we love, simply love, even as we are loved, our weary world is transformed into the kingdom of God. Isn't that beautiful? That's what the feeling of that sharing and energy is really all about. I want to share with you some stories that are just profound to me. My same daughter, Sandra, called me up the other day, and she had just taken Addison to the daycare center, the school, preschool. 2 years old, never done that before. The older daughter, Avery, is now almost 6, was so relaxed and so just flowing and, bye, Mom, see you later. Addison is much more precise. And when she has that picture, that is her picture. And it's not going to change. So here's Mom dropping Addison off at school, and Addison loses it completely. Have you ever heard those stories? They lose it. Addison lost it. Sandra kept staying there, and pretty soon Addison figured out that if she could keep Mom there, then she could stay with Mom, right? Finally, Mom left. Addison screaming. She texts to let us know if anything changes, if she needs to come and get Addison. Well, later on, so Sandra's asking for support. What do I do? How do I work with this? And so forth. She hadn't heard back from the school yet about how Addison was doing. And we just had the conversation. In some circles, they say, just do your job. Just keep them alive. Keep them there. Help them move forward, right? That's your job. I said, Sandra, and she was worried about, giving her blocks and being left alone and all the hurt that this would cause Addison and so on. I said, great. Give them to her. Let her experience that. That's why we have ministers who help counsel. That's why we have therapists who she could go talk to later on. Blockage profile consultants. There's all kinds of things. Just do your thing. Let them be out in the world and express and experience. Because, Sandra, I'll guarantee you, I have 5 testimonials that show that no matter how much we are challenged by the growth of the family, you guys turned out pretty good. In spite of Susan and me, in spite of our mistakes and our stepping stones and so on. Sandra just took a real deep breath. I could hear her crying a little bit, just releasing that pressure, letting it go. Why is this one so different than the first one? The first one was so easy. This one is so challenging. She got a text later. Addison's okay. Everything's fine. She stopped crying. She's sitting with one of the teachers on the lap. She's not saying things. She's just watching the kids play. She doesn't want to go play. She's just watching. And here's this little visual child. You can see it already. She's very visual. She was observing what she needed to do, when she needed to do it, how she did it, who she was going to do it with. She was making, she's making her unconscious plan of how she's going to work with this center. Later on that afternoon, her sister and the sister's best friend come in, just immediately start playing, and Addison screams, yay, and she goes and starts playing. Just needs a little support, a little example. And the next day, she was a little bit better. She walks in, she tells the teacher, I'm not going to play with anybody. I just want to watch. Fine, Addison, great. Healing for Sandra, to know that she's doing the best she knows how. Everything is fine. Everything's relaxed. Our friend Christina and her partner did everything perfect. The nutrition, the yoga, the meditation, the training, the doula, they had everything. It was just beautiful. Alia was born. She had some kind of a defect that was bleeding. I don't remember what it was that they said, but they had to take her to emergency right off the bat. Right off the bat. There was a home delivery. It was just so beautiful and relaxed. And they had to take her to emergency, go into intensive care, and here's this brand newborn. They actually had to put her in cryogenics, I think they call it, where they slow down the heart rate dramatically and essentially freeze. the body so that they can do the operation and work on it. And she was in intensive care for about a week and started coming out of it. Alia is one of the most dynamic, beautiful, amazing, clear, wise old souls in that 3-year-old body that you could ever meet. So as a parent, how can I take responsibility for something that I can't control that? That's the energy of whatever that soul is needing to experience inside. So we can do all the most wonderful things, and that resilience and that persistence just to be the best we can be is what motherhood to me is really all about. When Susan and I were expecting our third child, so many kind of almost psychic, divine experiences were happening with that. We were trying to figure out the name, and girl or boy, we hadn't done the ultrasound to figure out the gender of the child yet, and we're walking down the street from the daycare center, and Sarah says, well, I know about all this. She's about 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, something like that. I know about all this. She says, it's a girl, and her name is going to be Crystal. That's what happened. Before Crystal was born, about a week before, we were at the St. Louis Zoo, which is an amazing zoo. And we were walking around seeing all the animals, and we were kind of in the ape gorilla area, and we heard this giant chattering and clamoring of everything. And we walk around and hear the chimpanzees are running all over the place, jumping up and down. And in the tree, there was a chimpanzee mother that you could tell was getting ready to give birth. And all the males and the other females knew this, and they were just going crazy. Well, the mother drops down onto the floor. The two girls are standing in front of this, so about 15 feet away, and they watch the birth of this happen. And we got a chance to say to them, girls, that's what it's going to be like when your sister is going to be born. Isn't that amazing? And they were just wide-eyed, and Susan had already organized to have a birthing room, a birthing chair, and we said, you don't have to do this, ladies, but if you want, you could come and be a part of the family in the family room and watch your sister be born. Would you like to do that? Yes! So that's what happened. They got a chance to see Crystal give birth, that Susan give birth to Crystal. Just such an astonishing experience. They got to hold their baby sister instantly right off the bat. At that time they did the night silver stuff in the eyes and so on. Got to watch them do that. And their relationship is like a oneness. The feeling that they have together is just really amazing. Right before that happened, I had to go out, and Susan was still lying in the bed. And I'm going out, and Susan and I had done Lamaze, and so, the hee-hee-hoo and so on. I go out to go to the bathroom. Susan's having another contraction. Sarah is up on the bed, straddling Susan. Mom, hee-hee-hoo. Come on, Mom. Just like Dad did. Hee-hee-hoo. Come on, Mom. Mom, come on. Hee-hee-hoo. The mom had the mother, helping with the whole situation. I have to say, in observing Susan as really, because I was traveling so much, as the backbone of our family, again, the inner strength and the resilience and so on is just incredible. I saw that with my mother. My father passed on, as some of you have heard me say, when I was 16 years old. Single mom, all of a sudden, with 4 kids. Had to get a job. There was some estate things, but she still had to get a job. To see her work with that inner guidance and spirit, she ended up becoming a unity minister because of the transformation of all of that. She just was an angel. And the backing I could feel that she had. There was such a powerful movement forward to take over the role that my father had and also still be the mother to us. Just beautiful examples. Our friend Diana has a son that his wife passed on from a tragedy. It was sudden and unexpected. And the heartfeltness of that for her son at the same time having to have the detached inner strength to be supportive and back that son to heal and the family to heal. There's just nothing like the power of what that motherhood is all about. I'd like you to take a moment and reflect on something that was positive for you in your motherhood or with your mother. Take a moment and reflect on something there. And I'm going to give you a moment. And if you'd like to just interact a little bit with somebody and just take a minute, share that story, just that touch of what that motherhood was like, what that meant to you, just find somebody near you. Take a moment and share. Find a partner. Don't be shy. You may have to get up and go around and find somebody. All right, come on back. Come on back. How many of you enjoyed hearing the story from your partner? Was it inspiring to you? Was there something that was unique that maybe you hadn't thought of before, experienced before? And how many of you enjoyed sharing about that? You've heard me say it, Cynthia says it before, the world needs messengers. We need those examples out there that can help and heal and inspire and so on. So I really highly recommend that you do it, share it, get involved, help people change their lives. Before we go to this next segment, I want to say something special that you can help with. You can help this church, this center, in that motherhood spirit on I think it's the 25th, right, Kathy? 25th, what time is it? Okay, just look for the announcement on the back. Tracy will let you know how you can find out about this. On the 25th, May 25th, we're having a special meeting with a special lady who's going to help those of you that are interested to share your visions and dreams as stakeholders of this place, people that want this place to be more dynamic even than it is right now. And I really want to suggest you come out to that. Already there are some people that are saying they will, but that is going to be the opportunity so that you can help the board and the Spiritual Leadership Council to get further direction on how we expand our message here at the center. Does that make sense? So please consider that, being a part of that stakeholders get together. And I know Cynthia will continue to announce it more and more and more.